Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about well worn, well done. I don't know if y'all ever heard anything like this in a house, but growing up, whenever we visited Granny Mama's house, there was a room that she had that just smelled kind of different. It was kind of musty. And we were never really allowed to go in there. So, of course, that's always the first room we'd want to go into. We were never allowed to touch or even look at anything in there, young man. The couch actually had plastic on it. It was her fancy living room. At least that's what Craig and I called it. We figured it was for the Pope or the President. At least that's what Mom always said. Looking back on it, I think we know why. And we understand what that room's for nowadays. But Dad never thought that was funny when Mom would make those jokes. But now back in the '60s and '70s, those things were around. They're not so much anymore. You're probably asking, where in the heck is he going with this? You see, I was pulling out Little Bit's wagon today for a Popeye and Little Bit excursion to SeaWorld, and I noticed that the wagon today is far from like brand new status that it was when we bought it just a few months ago. And I'm pretty sure that if Granny Mama saw it, she'd be flipped out over all the scuff marks and stains and marks all over it that the many adventures that we've had in that thing over the last 6 months have gained. I can even picture where a few of those things have happened. And then I looked at the Bible that I was given when I graduated high school, coming up on 40 years ago. It was a very special gift that was given to me, by the church that I went to. And it was pristine and hermetically sealed in plastic when they gave it to me. I don't know who'd be offended more if it was still that pristine, today, whether it be Brother Rick or Pastor William or my beloved Popeye, because they told me that I should use it up. And if I did, they'd give me another one. And the reason for that is, when somebody gives you something that's supposed to be used, it's supposed to be just that, used. It's not supposed to be, just put up on a shelf and, worshipped. Now, I'm not saying that everything in your house should just be beat up. We've got fine china and we bring it out at the holidays, but I'm not going to cut Little Bit loose with his oatmeal on it every day. Some things you got to take care of, but at the same time, you got to live your life. Now, the Bible verse today is Matthew 25:14 through 46. And as far as the questions go, do you have a room in your house that's off limits? Or, do you live your life and, let things get used up along the way? Anyway, that's what we have to talk about today. God bless you and have a great day.